Hey guys, welcome to a new movie review. Today I'm going to be talking about the classic Robin Williams film from the 90s called What Dreams May Come. This is by director Vincent Ward, who I guess has also been a part of some other visually heavy films. I know one that he's done that I actually have not seen yet, but it's been recommended to me by several sources, is Map to the Human Heart, I think is what it's called, and it has Jason Scott Lee in that one. This one has Robin Williams, Cuba Gooding Jr., and Annabella Sciorra in it. I don't even know if I said her name correctly or not. She's also been in Copland and The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, for those who've seen that. But in What Dreams May Come, you guys, it's about a doctor that kind of has an instant death. It's very sudden, very quick, very out of the blue. It deals, it's a car-related incident. He lost his children shortly before he lost his own life, and so he's stuck in the afterlife now. He can, in a way, he can kind of see what's currently going on in reality back in what's currently going on in society, and so apparently the wife isn't doing well, and she basically she basically takes her life in a way. Um, in the form of suicide. And so what he does is he finds out through this character played by Cuba Gooding Jr. that basically in the afterlife, there really is no rules. You can do basically what you want, what you can. If you can imagine it, you can do it. So what he wants to do now at this point, now that he's kind of seen what he's wanted to in the afterlife, since it's a very beautiful place when he gets there, since he went to heaven, um, he basically now wants to go on this journey to make sure that the wife also gets to heaven, since she took her life, and so that basically is an automatic ticket to hell in a way, at least to how the movie explained it. And because there are no rules in the afterlife, he has the power to basically go save the wife pretty much from suffering from hell for eternity in the afterlife. So I really enjoy What Dreams May Come, you guys. It's also based off a Richard Matheson novel that I guess did really well. And I guess Richard Matheson himself has said that even people have come up to him and approached him, telling him that he's kind of saved their life or has made them less worried about death because of his book. And so obviously he felt very honored for doing that for those people. For those who didn't know, Richard Matheson also wrote I Am Legend and Nightmare at 20,000 Feet, which got turned into the famous Twilight Zone episode. And I'm going to take that away. It's kind of annoying. And so, for the positives and negatives of What Dreams May Come, you guys, I really enjoyed the visuals of this film. Visually, I have no complaints about What Dreams May Come. At 1998, they could have done better visuals for this film. It really looks spectacular, specifically when Robin Williams is in the afterlife, and it looks like a wet paint canvas. Like it really looks like wet paint when he walks over it. So visuals, this is some of the best visuals I probably have seen for a film. I think I would even go so far as to say that, and that's saying a lot. This film came out in 1998, and it still looks like it was made in 2014. It really looks spectacular. It really looks spectacular. It was mind blowing. This is a very interesting cinematic approach on life after death. I I really like the film's approach on both heaven and hell. I like how there's kind of, even though there's no rules when you get there, at least with heaven anyway. I like how the film, it has rules as far as the moment you die, this is what basically got you into heaven, or this is what got you into hell. When you're in hell, they have these restrictions, but when you're in heaven, there are no restrictions. You have your own rules. There's no rules that need to be followed. So I like that setup that the film had. Like I said, very interesting cinematic approach on heaven and hell. Probably one of the best we've had on film so far. The background information for certain characters in this film, I really loved what they did here, and I also love that. And I don't want to get into too much detail because this is kind of going to spoiler territory. It won't spoil anything, but I'll restrict myself on saying too much. I like how certain characters are the way they are. You find out more about Cuba Gooding Jr., what he really is, what he really stands for. There's an Asian woman that Robin Williams meets up with. You find out what she is later on. It's different from the five people you meet in heaven. So for those who are worried going into this film that it was going to be too much like the Mitch Albom book, The Five People You Meet in Heaven, it is different. There's definitely a lot of similarities as you're watching this film because The Five People You Meet in Heaven, it was either a made-for-TV adaptation or something. I remember watching it a while back. It's a very good book too. That one had John Voight in it. It has a lot of similarities, but it's different. So for those worrying, they're both different, but they both deal with heaven and hell. Um, the film also has a lot to say about self worth and self image, and I really liked how they depicted that here. It really shows kind of how everybody's important, everybody has a purpose, everybody has a reason, everybody has values, everybody has the right to be good, everybody has the right to be bad. Um, the film really plays off of those messages really well, and I really loved how the film turned out overall. For the negatives I have for this film, since I really don't have a lot of them, I felt like some of the ideas didn't completely go through. This was more so in the first half of the film, when the film wasn't even in the afterlife yet. There's a few small ideas that didn't quite go through that I would have liked to have seen more closure to. The film just kind of pushed some of these things to the side. It almost felt like small little chunks at some point of ideas, not really full fleshed. So I guess the second the film goes into the afterlife, that's when it really starts to get interesting. But it's a little unfortunate that before those scenes happen, we really didn't get a lot of like for example, we didn't get to see a lot of Robin Williams as a doctor. We didn't get to see a lot of Annabella Sciorra as this, uh, you know, I think she worked at a museum or something, and that's exactly what I'm getting to. I mean, it's so brief. Like Robin Williams is a doctor. You know that Annabelle Sciorra is into paint. She's into this museum. She works for this museum and stuff. But it's so brief that we really don't get a lot of those background details that are pretty essential to these characters. Um, and I would have liked, like I said, I would have liked to see either a bigger continuation of that information or just more closure to some of these ideas. But like I said, the moment the film gets into the afterlife, a lot of those mistakes are forgiven. But as far as something I would have liked to see more of, I would have liked to see more closure to some of the bigger ideas of this movie. I also felt the ending of this film was a little too much of an easy way out. Because the film was so complex, it had such a great, grounded, it knew what it was doing kind of deal. And it was very complex in this world. Like I said, with all the, in this place you have freedom, this place you don't. It has all these things set up, and it's nice and complex the way it should be, but the ending felt like an easy way out to me. It wasn't a bad ending at all. Don't get me wrong; it's a very good ending to a movie. I actually saw the alternate ending of this film, and I actually, though I liked some of the ideas that were used for the alt, and that goes back to my complaint of some of these ideas don't completely go through. Even in the alternate ending, some of these ideas didn't go completely through either. Um, but the ending they went with, it's a nice ending. It's a good ending to a story like this one. Um, but I felt like it was just an easy way out, and I think they could have done something a little bit more daring than what they did. But overall, guys, I give What Dreams May Come a 9 out of 10. It's truly a terrific film. It really has a good grasp of what it wants to be about. Though a few ideas could have had a lot more closure than what we got, I really think it's spectacular. If you really want a really good, interesting film about heaven and hell and the afterlife, what it is, what we know about it, if there is one. Um, if you're into Christianity, even if you're not, it's just a very interesting approach on this kind of thing. In a way, it's kind of like Life of Pi. It's visually heavy, has a lot to say, and all that kind of stuff. But I really like what they did with it. And also, there's a dog in the afterlife that's really adorable that follows Robin Williams around a lot in the movie. But very, very good. This is definitely a good example too of visuals that are handled very, very well. I would like to see more films that handle visuals this well. Just please see this movie. It's really spectacular. 9 out of 10 from me. Please see What Dreams May Come.